All right. All right, welcome back everybody. This is my third edition to my backpacking camera gear video series. I'm talking all about backpacking camera gear, what I use now, what I've used in the past, showing different options and that kind of stuff. So this video is all about microphones. I know it's not the most glamorous thing to talk about, but it is a very important thing, especially if you're shooting videos. Having a microphone is extremely important for the quality of your video. So I'm going to jump right in and show you guys what I use, what I've used in the past, and why I chose the microphone that I choose now. So I'm just going to jump right in and show you guys. I'm going to move the camera down to my cool little table full of gear and we'll jump right in. All right guys, see you in a second. So probably one that's most popular or that I see most often is the Rode Video Micro microphone. Is this guy right here. It's very popular. You know, it's a shotgun microphone, so most of the sound you're gonna get is from whatever is pointing in front of your microphone. So this is a great microphone. I'm not going to take anything away from it. I've used this a lot. Sound quality is great for the size and what you get with it. Rode is a fantastic brand. Some things I didn't like about it is that when you're shooting like point of view stuff and your camera's facing away from you, like when you're showing that like super great scenery and you're talking about stuff, your audio is being picked up from pointing forward. So if you're behind the camera, it's not going to pick up your voice very well. That's kind of why I stopped bringing it, was because you didn't get that like omnidirectional, you only get you know, sound coming from what's in front of you. But all in all, this is a great microphone. It's cheap. It's like 50 bucks. And then you throw on your little windscreen dead cat guy here, and this is what you get. We'll do some sound comparisons with this guy in a little bit, and then we'll go from there. Next up, we will talk about this microphone. So this is a stereo microphone. It has two mics right here that kind of crisscross. So this gives you the ability to record audio in stereo sound. This records in mono and you have to make it stereo in editing. This comes and comes right into the camera in stereo. And another cool function is when it's on top of the camera like this, you can point it up like this. So if you're talking, it'll pick up that audio. So I would usually kind of point it like a little bit up on like an angle, kind of like this, not straight forward, but a little bit up on an angle, so that it would still pick up my audio from my voice, but also still pick up audio from what's in front. I really, again, like this microphone. Kind of the fatal flaw is with this shock mount that it has. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but you see how it flexes? When you're walking, you will get some noise with that. And I've thought about taking this apart and putting in like a little rubber O-ring in there, but then, I mean, that kind of causes other issues with, you got to take the thing apart and then maybe it won't go back together and then maybe it won't work as well. All of that kind of stuff. But what I found is when you're walking, you hear it? Let me see. So you can hear it kind of making that noise. It would do that while you're recording. And I had a couple trips where I brought this and were sections where I was talking and I either had footage that I couldn't use or would have to kind of just live with it sounding like that because of that. But I really do like this microphone. It did not come with a windscreen, but I got this universal windscreen for it, and it kind of fits over the top like that. Again, these two microphones weigh about the same. They're about 3 ounces. Super good quality. I mean, this sounds great for backpacking, and if you could figure out how to dampen the sound, like I'm sure there's something you could stick in there to kind of stop this from moving like that. But I mean, that's also the shock mount, so I don't know if by stopping that from moving it would cause any other issues. I mean, I'm sure you could just stick some super glue in there and just glue that shut so that it wouldn't make that noise, but you may get other noise from the motion of the camera. So I'm going to skip to the smallest option that I have here, and this is a Saramonic, I believe it's just like the Saramonic micro microphone. This thing, let me pop this windscreen off of here and show you how tiny this is. So let me take this off. That's a DIY piece. So this is all it is, and this is kind of made for you know, smaller cameras or phones or that kind of thing. And it did come with like a foam windscreen, but those never really work that great, to be honest with you. So this microphone is tiny, and that's kind of what enticed me to it. It does bend into kind of like a 90 degree like this, which is super cool. And what you would normally do with it is stick it directly into the side of your camera like that, and then it just kind of lives there, and you can direct it towards you, direct it towards someone else. But what I didn't like about it was how it sticks off the side of the camera like that. I didn't like the fact that this offers a breaking point, and potential for this to break off in the camera or just break or get caught on something. I really wanted it to sit on top of the camera like a shotgun mic, but there was no such thing for this particular mic to work like that. So my solution is this. This is a small extension cable. This red cable is a small extension cable, just a basic thing. And I had this like cold shoe mount and some Velcro and some hot glue. And I kind of made this adapter that this can plug into like that. And then it kind of turns into a teeny tiny shotgun microphone, and you can still function it to stand up like this, because this works kind of like a shotgun microphone where the sound will come predominantly from what's in front of you. So you can kind of tilt it up towards you if you want more of your voice in certain shots. So that's kind of a cool option, and then it just kind of plugs into the side just like a normal microphone would. And if you're talking about wanting an ultra light microphone, this is probably the absolute smallest, lightest thing that you could possibly find. And then this windscreen that I got for it, this windscreen was for like a lapel mic or a lav mic. And it's got this little drawstring kind of thing on there, and I guess you could just put it on any mic, and now you have this teeny tiny little microphone. It's incredibly small, and for like the size and everything else on it, it actually sounds pretty darn good. And again, I'll do the test and let you determine if you like it or not. But yeah, you know, one of the things I didn't necessarily like about it, using it in the side of the camera too, was that it kind of swivels when you're walking. Like it would just fall. Like when it's in the side of the camera, like if you're walking, like sometimes it would just kind of like droop down. And you can actually use this for like an action cam. So if you had like a GoPro or something like this, you can plug it into the GoPro, but same kind of thing. Like I've used it for this, and especially for this because it's moving around a lot more, the microphone tended to kind of like flop down because of the windscreen. But you know, if you want the absolute most ultra light microphone, this is probably the way to go. This weighs, with this like adapter and everything, weighs less than 1 ounce. So you're not going to get any smaller or lighter than this. All right, and that leads us to the Sennheiser MKE 200. And this microphone to me was extremely enticing because it's kind of built like a professional movie microphone, where this whole thing is not the microphone. The microphone's actually really tiny and it's inside here. And this whole like canister type thing has like a real thin layer of like fabric or foam in it. So it offers some wind protection as it is, just like that. It's a real small form factor and nothing moves. There's no moving parts with it. The cable plugs into the front of it rather than through the back. So you can still use your camera like a normal, to take pictures and look through the viewfinder like you normally would. You can kind of see that it doesn't protrude off the back of the camera because like with these type microphones, the cable plugs into the back and it protrudes off the back of the camera. So if you wanted to use your viewfinder like a normal camera, you really can't do that with this. And then it even comes with a windscreen too. It's kind of fits on there super snug. It fits over the entire thing. But look, even that ends up being a smaller form factor than the Rode Micro or even like the Tascam. The Tascam is a TM2X. It's similar size to this, but this kind of sits a different way. And this is not comparable to anything, because this is kind of in its own realm. But yeah, this is kind of my setup. This is what I've been going with. I found for reliability, quality, this is kind of where it's at. And again, you know, this setup weighs as much as a liter of water in terms of carrying weight and that kind of thing. So when you're thinking about how much something weighs, you know, you're in essence bringing another liter of water with you, which if you're bringing other ultralight things, I've invested in ultralight bags and ultralight gear and hammocks and tarps and a lot of Dyneema in order to kind of like cut weight in all these other places in order to be able to like bring heavier camera equipment. Legitimately, one of the only reasons, a big reason for that, is so that I could bring heavier camera equipment and not have to worry about sacrificing quality of the photos and the videos that I'm taking out on the trail. So I think the next step, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna take these microphones out and show you the quality of the sound coming from each of them, how they work in terms of doing like point of view shots and walking around shots. I'm gonna show you in some windier conditions and some less windy conditions, and really kind of give you like a whole perspective on these. I could just put them on my camera here inside my house, but I mean, that's not reasonable for what this is. So that'll be the next thing that I do, and then we'll go from there. Took a little field trip. I am out at a wildlife refuge near my house. And so I can see there's a little bit of wind. I have my camera set up exactly how I would if I was backpacking. I had another thought there and I forgot. So I'm gonna get right to it. I'm gonna finish drinking my coffee and then head on out to the beach first, and then we'll do like some wooded stuff and go from there. Cool, man. Now I'm ready. So right now I'm using the Sennheiser mic. Normally when I shoot professional video, I'm monitoring with headphones of what everything sounds like. But when I'm hiking, I just have the camera set to auto in terms of how it records the audio. So I'm allowing the camera to choose how loud the microphone's gonna be. So we got like a south wind. I guess this is like a 10-15 mile per hour gusting, maybe a little bit more than that. So it's a pretty significant wind. Not to mention you got the sounds of the ocean. So we've done quite a bit of this mic facing the camera. So let's try some with the camera facing forward. Like this is where I'm at, is Back Bay Wildlife Refuge. And the only way to get to False Cape is through Back Bay. This time of the year, you have to take the beach to get there, and it's about a 3-mile hike. But yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite places to come for sure. Alright, so that's a good test of what the sound quality is like with me behind the camera. And the camera's positioned just below my chin and about 12 inches in front of my face. Alright, I'm going to put the windsock on here and then we'll see how that sounds. Alright, so I just put the Dead Cat on the Sennheiser mic, and same conditions otherwise. Dead Cat sounds like talking from behind the camera. So I have the Rode Micro on here now with the Dead Cat. This microphone, I will tell you from experience, does not do well with outdoors without the Dead Cat. Like with the slightest little breeze, it's pretty noisy. So obviously right now the camera's facing at me. This is the difference of a shotgun mic. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, to get to False Cape, it's about a 3-mile walk slash bike ride. But once you get out there, I mean, you're out there. It's kind of the closest place I have to go backpacking or hiking or anything in a primitive setting. But yeah, it's one of my favorites. Okay, so next step, I'm going to take the Dead Cat off of this microphone, and I can guarantee it's going to probably produce borderline unusable audio. Alright, so let's take it off. So Dead Cat is off. And then this is what it sounds like when the doves cry. Alright, Dead Cat is back on. So that'll do it for the Rode. The next microphone I'm going to go with is going to be that Tascam stereo microphone. So yeah, give me a second, I'm going to swap that out and I will be right back. So now we have the Tascam stereo microphone. So yeah, this is that microphone with the Dead Cat on it. There's something big on the beach. We should take bets of what it's actually going to be. And this is the Tascam without the Dead Cat. Into the wind. So this is the Saramonic mic, that teeny tiny little guy. The thing is just stupid light. I mean, it's so ridiculously small and light. I mean, for it to weigh an ounce is just ridiculous. It's kind of like, why would I use anything else? But you'll see, it's not the best sounding mic, but I am willing to like bet that this is probably the lightest and smallest setup you could possibly have. This is with the microphone facing directly forward. So now the microphone is facing directly up, so you should probably be able to hear my voice a little bit better and clearer at this point. So that's kind of a cool thing with it, is it's somewhat directional. It could be kind of like a shotgun mic of sorts, and then you bend it upwards and it could be more of like the interview style for when you're kind of doing stuff like this. You want to show people the pretty waves. Look at those waves. So this is what the tiny miniature Saramonic mic sounds like without the windscreen on it. This is what the Saramonic mic sounds like going directly into the wind, and this is what it sounds like facing upward. This is the Sennheiser without the dead cat on it. And this is the Sennheiser without the dead cat, with the camera in front of me. So this is the Rode mic. Rode mic with the dead cat, and then shot in front of me. This is the Tascam stereo mic. And this is the Tascam stereo mic facing away. And here is the Saramonic. And this is the Saramonic with the mic facing up towards me, but the camera facing away. Now I got the mic facing back towards me. So that should do it for these microphone tests. Hopefully we learned something for this, because I haven't monitored, and I've actually never done this test, like a side-by-side thing like this. So I'm kind of interested to see what comes out of this. So yeah, I'm gonna walk back to the truck right now and head back to the office. That's a lie. I'm actually gonna go fly my drone for a little bit, because I haven't done that in ages. So I'm gonna go do that, fly my drone, get some footage. You can't fly here at the wildlife refuge, but you can fly a little ways up the street, so that's where I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna head there now and get back to the office, dump this footage into the video, and finish that thing up. So I'll see you back at the office. All right, well, that concludes the microphone portion of the backpacking camera gear series that I'm doing. I hope this was helpful in showing you the size, weights, quality of sound that some of these smaller microphones will give you, and hopefully help you make a choice in figuring out what works for you. It certainly has taken me a long time to figure out what works for me. So the final part of this series will be talking about bags and accessories. That'll be coming up next. Until then, take it easy, guys.